everyone, it's Lisa Brooks Kift here. It's episode 3 of Therapy 365, and today I'm going to talk about emotional safety, 5 ways to make your relationship more secure. So today I'm going to cover what is emotional safety, why it's important, why it can be a challenge, and 5 steps to creating more emotional safety in your relationship. So what is emotional safety in relationships? This is my favorite topic. My favorite relationship topic, I should say, because it's really the foundation of secure, loving, connected relationships. And when a couple feels emotionally safe together, they feel heard, they feel understood, they trust each other, they feel prioritized by each other, and they ultimately feel loved by each other. So you think of having emotional safety and intimate partnerships as being the port in each other's storm. And in any relationship, it's that felt sense of having each other's back, being able to be really yourself, be fully authentic. That is so important that you can settle into the relationship and be at ease. Why is emotional safety in relationships so important? Let's look at that. Something I've noticed in my therapy practice and in life in general is the value of authenticity. People carry a lot of pain and strife around, like they don't feel like they can be their real selves or authentic. And that comes from a combination of a lot of things, but their history, also a lack of real emotional safety with people in their lives before. And at the end of the day, people just want to feel lovable and worthwhile and safe with each other. So when you have an emotionally safe relationship, you can fully relax and you don't really need to spend the energy required to keep up a social mask or trying to behave in ways that you think is acceptable. The very earliest opportunity we as humans have to experience emotional safety is with our parents, as infants and young children, when we got our earliest lessons of whether we mattered. Do we have value? Are we lovable? So really important time is early in childhood. So why can emotional safety be so challenging for so many? Well, one of the biggest blocks to feeling emotionally safe or knowing how to provide an emotionally safe space is, again, the earlier experiences you had. And oftentimes it wasn't modeled for people. So, or maybe there was a legitimately scary experience or a lot of experiences as a child, or maybe there was critical parenting styles where maybe love was conditional on your performance. There's so many different tracks for that. So there's, so many ways that emotional safety can be a challenge for people because of that and other things. But good news is that you can heal earlier wounds by new experiences, which is great. So 5 steps to creating more emotional safety in your relationship. Step 1, talk to each other. There are so many ways that things can go sideways if you don't communicate. And I know, as obvious as that seems, maybe, it often doesn't happen. And couples get stuck when their communication goes awry. If you don't know how to communicate well, learn how. Step 2, listen as well as speak. There really is an art to listening, and you have to be willing to really hear what the other is saying, so they not only feel heard, but they feel understood. And often what throws people off is their strong desire to be heard and understood, so much so in a discussion that they jump in before the other is finished, or they don't take in what the other has said because of their need to say their piece. You have to remember you both want to be heard and understood. Step 3 is be reliable. When you say you're going to do something, do it. Show up and be there as expected. And if you can't follow through on whatever it is, for whatever reason, communicate that. Make sure you say, hey, I can't be there. Hey, I can't do that. And follow it up with an apology just to acknowledge that. The goal is to create an environment where you both feel prioritized and respected. Step 4, be trustworthy. A lack of transparency on important things, lies, general shadiness, will all destroy the emotional safety in your relationship. Be open, upfront, and honest, and don't do things that betray the relationship without expecting serious emotional consequences from your partner if and when these things come to light. Step 5, avoid the buildup of resentment. So resentment literally can kill a relationship. Even microtransgressions over a long period of time can build up and become the reason for emotional disconnection. So, to avoid resentment, both parties have to be willing to address mistakes they made with each other, big or small, because we all make them, and then acknowledge the pain or the disappointment or the anger that resulted from that. So, another task related to resentment is a willingness to speak up if you are hurt. This is an equally damaging relationship challenge when one or both parties are conflict avoidant. This is so common. And they minimize their emotional experiences, so they'll sweep their feelings under the rug. The problem with this is it builds up and eventually can become disastrous with a big blow up of some kind, and the other person will have no idea where it came from. So, my hope for you that this podcast, Therapy 365, will be an inspiration. Even if you get one nugget or one seed that you can apply to yourself individually or in your relationships, then I consider it a success. So, next episode, I'm excited to talk about worry. It's a really common topic. If you find yourself preoccupied with all the things that could go wrong in a way that you think doesn't serve you, stay tuned for that, because we're going to look at healthy versus unhealthy worry, where excessive worry comes from, how not to let yourself get hijacked by worry, and a few other things too. So meanwhile, you can check out loveandlifetoolbox.com for a ton of emotional health and relationship tips and tools by me and other therapy pros. And remember, at Therapy 365, you're always a work in progress.